What's going on, guys? It's Slappy Flappy. I don't know why I said it like that. This is going to be a short one today, which is why I'm on a, shitty funny map like FNAF. So the Game Awards happened yesterday, and I wanted to sort of talk about it. Not even specifically the awards themselves, but the releases. Obviously, there is a big point of context to the winners, and the fact that Clair Obscura had won so much, which is fair enough. There's a lot of reasons why, but specifically it did win Game of the Year, which I think is very fair. From the parts that I played of it, spectacular. But they also pulled in so many areas where people got a bit frustrated because they pulled the best independent game, they pulled best role-playing game, best debut indie game, art direction. It pissed off a fair few people. And I fucking get it. Oh, I was so fucking lucky because, there were so many other games that released last year that is worthy. Oh, I can get that through the wall. Sick. That was 100%. Oh my god! Jesus fucking Christ, that was not necessary! Anyway, thanks Nightmare Freddy. Because, we had games like Hades, Death Stranding 2, Silk Song, Donkey Kong, Bonanza. There was a lot of games that were deserved of plenty of different awards, but unfortunately, well, not even unfortunately, fucking Jesus Christ! Why am I getting jump scared right now? Is this necessary? I can't handle it. Fuck's sake! Maybe this wasn't the right map to pick. Anyway, I didn't even want to talk about the awards. I want to talk about the announcements, the releases. I don't think anyone cares about my opinion, but you know what? Again, this channel's for me to just old school gaming commentary and talk about stuff. So first game to bring up. First one was Pragmata. Now that one, I remember seeing the announcement for it. I think, oh shit, I went down. That's ridiculous, dude. The reveal trailer, when that came out, and I was like, okay, new Capcom game, and it had the young girl, and it sort of gave the Last of Us vibes, where you've got the main characters being a duo of younger girl and father figure type, and from actually. And then this trailer actually showed some gameplay. It sort of screams a bit of Death Stranding crossed between Stellar Blade. I don't know. That's the sort of vibes I got from it. I always appreciate a new IP, and Capcom's been knocking it out of the park recently. You know what? I think this game could be pretty cool. Again, have no idea what anything is. It kind of reminds me of when Death Stranding was first announced, and no one really knew what it was going to be. Hopefully, it's not a FedEx simulator. Next is Solasta 2. I just wanted to bring it up because I was watching this and I was just sitting there, I'm like, is this DLC for Baldur's Gate 3? That was just what I got from it. But no, it's its own game, but it does scream Larian Studios style, especially Divinity. It really sort of screamed. The next one that popped up was Tank Rat. That one was kind of cool. It kind of looked a bit like Robocraft with a World of Tanks type thing, but it's cool. You're this little robot dude, kind of screams Wally, who can possess tanks and shit. And yeah, it looks kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, it looks wicked. Next one was Bradley the Badger. This one screamed Conker's Bad Fur Day, Banjo-Kazooie, Hat in Time, even a bit Katamari, sort of there's this rolling ball physic that you have because you can become big. I like the idea that you're jumping between different video game style worlds. It starts off with a Badgerborn, and then it goes to Cyber Badger, The Last of Badger, or some bollocks. And then the trailer ends with a live action segment. I don't entirely know what that is referencing or what that's going to entail. That's definitely something that happens. Platforming looks cool. I think the only thing that was sort of bothering me was the voice acting. I thought the voice actor was a bit annoying. Kind of gave off vibes of Bubsy. So I don't know about all that, but yeah, I'm definitely interested in that. I do love a good old classic collectathon platformer type game, so that one should be good. All right, now we're getting into the main stuff. The first one is Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic. Holy shit, dude, I was not expecting a Star Wars Old Republic game to be announced in 2025. I was so excited for the KOTOR remake. I was like, this is going to be so cool. And then it was just dead in the water. I've not heard a fucking single thing about that game. You know, we got a 13-13 situation here. They love canceling Star Wars games just because, you know, they hate us, apparently. But to have a new Star Wars game set during the Old Republic and it's canon, Fate of the Old Republic, just so cool. So cool. So I'm really excited to see what that's going to be. I would love it to be, I don't know, like a part of me kind of wants to go sort of like ARPG, so like hack and slash vibes. Look, I love the old school sort of point and click RPG. There's no denying that is just the way the game is, but just changing it up a bit. I don't know. I thought it would be kind of cool if maybe they went for, you know, because the point and click style, it is sort of turn-based, I guess. Just you sort of keep clicking. Kind of reminds me of an MMORPG, the classic Knights games. But I think it would be really, really cool if, you know, maybe they did like turn-based, like Clair Obscura or Persona. I feel like that would be really unique, or even if they want to keep it to the style, maybe a Star Wars game like that in the future would be pretty cool. This next one, when it kicked on, the cinematics just screamed Diablo 4 cinematics. The real gritty, violent, realistic cinematics were it was just on point. They always look really good, so I figured it was going to be like a Diablo 4 expansion, which they actually did announce during the Game Awards, funnily enough. But no, the giveaway for this one, like there's this dude who's like locked in this big giant like Wicker Man type thing. He's burning alive and his skin's peeling off and bubbling, and then this big like aura thing bursts out of his corpse, and yeah, it looked wicked. I'm like, yeah, this is screaming some Diablo shit, because I always found it funny that the Diablo cinematics look so much cooler than anything that you do in the actual game, you know, being just a regular ARPG. It's pretty plain. But then I saw Larian Studios pop up and I'm like, whoa, is this the Baldur's Gate 3 expansion? But no, they are bringing back Divinity. They're doing Divinity again, and it's just called Divinity. It's going to be gnarly. It'll be pretty sick. I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up being Game of the Year for when it releases. You know what? That's going to be pretty gnarly. That's going to be pretty cool. So good on Larian for bringing back a fan favorite. 4Loop was one that I thought was just a bit weird. I like the idea of like, you know, you die and you get 3D printed back to life type thing, and it kind of gives me like Edge of Tomorrow vibes. It's, you know, a cool idea, but it's this tired feeling of seeing multiplayer third-person looter shooter style games. I'm just tired of. Like, I can't even tell you if it is a looter shooter. It's just that's the vibe I got from it. It could very well not be a looter shooter, but that's just what's screaming to me, so that's what I'm assuming it is. Covenant the Chickenfoot looked kind of interesting. Kind of looked like a cross between something like The Last Guardian for the makers of Shadow of the Colossus. Kind of like screamed a bit of that, mixed with like a sort of like Ghibli style, art style, even though it's not like directly Ghibli, it's its own style, but that's just the vibe it gave. But I don't know, that looked kind of like a cute experience. Definitely something that'll probably pull your heartstrings. Next is Ontos. You know, Frictional game. A new game from Frictional, and it's not just another Amnesia game or anything. It's something a little bit different. It kind of has like Bioshock vibes. Looks like it's gonna, you know, still have a touch of horror. There's like a scene with this guy who's like hooked up to this machine. He's got cords coming out of him and stuff, and he's like got no jaw. That sort of like body horror type shit always disturbs me and gives me the heebie-jeebies. So I don't know, maybe I'll give it a try. 2XKO, cool, a League of Legends fighter. 2v2, which is interesting, kind of like a Marvel vs. Capcom type thing, I guess. Don't really know what to say. I guess any opportunity to play something within the world of League of Legends that isn't League of Legends, I'll always say yes to. Next is one of the big boys, baby. Resident Evil 9. Resident Evil Requiem. Such a cool name for it. Obviously, we've seen enough trailers now. This is the final trailer. I can't wait for it to come out. Really cool at the reveal that Leon is going to be a character in it. Don't know if he's, you know, just going to have like a small cameo, or if it's going to be like a switch player situation between Ashcroft and then him. Definitely intrigued to see where they go with it. This whole thing with the what was it called? Elpis? I think it could be really freaking cool. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Just like a little thing from the trailer when he's like paddle shifting. I don't know why. That just was cool to me. I just seeing him like driving around this sports car, fucking paddle shifting everywhere. It's just Gives me more of a reason that he's just a fucking badass, you know what I'm saying? Next one, Gang of Dragons. Look, I love the Yakuza games. I haven't finished any of them because we've spoken about this. I really suck at dedicating my time to games. I get really ADHD and can't focus on just one game. You know, I just want to run around and beat the fuck out of people, but like, you know, beating the people up is like 30% of the game and story 70%. But there's no denying that I do love the games, I love the gameplay styles. So a new game from the creators again. Yeah, cool. And the main protagonist looks cool, being like a Korean gang member dealing with shit in Shinjuku and, you know, Shibuya, and it looks sick. It just looks like another Yakuza game. Next one was a bit of a surprise. Tomb Raider is getting a return. Obviously, we had the trilogy that came out, but this is like returning back to PS1 era style Tomb Raider with Tomb Raider Catalyst. It looks and like Lara, she looks good. Like, look, I ain't out here to sexualize, okay? Let's just be honest about that. That's not my goal here, but she looked good. And that's not to say that the you know, Lara Croft and the other ones didn't look good, but they very much focused on the realism and the grittiness. Lost was the bit more of not even cartoony, but, you know, sort of the fun of the previous Tomb Raiders. Like Tomb Raider's not necessarily meant to be gritty, but obviously it was the era, it was the style at the time. They wanted gritty remakes and reboots. This seems to be going back to its roots a little bit, and I'm here for it, especially because they then followed up Tomb Raider Catalyst with fucking Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis, which seems to be a prequel. Legacy of Atlantis comes out 2026, and then Catalyst comes out in 2027. Fucking go for gold, dude. That's cool. I've not, like, a dual release. I've not seen anything like that in gaming in such a long time. Fuck, I can't even tell you right now off the top of my head when was the last time I thought that was a thing. Maybe fucking Half-Life 2 episode 1 and 2. I don't know. It's a cool idea, and it's still being made by Crystal Dynamics, also working with Amazon Game Studios. So, you know, questions, but I'm still fucking intrigued. And I gotta say, that fucking ledge climb, that was hot. That was the hottest thing in a Tomb Raider game since the polygon titties. just saying, that did it for me. I'm just gonna put it out there. That did it for me. The next thing was sort of touching on 007 First Light again. I've been, you know, intrigued by this, you know, coming from the Hitman creators, and it very much looks like a Hitman game, but in the world of 007, which looks cool. But this wasn't even talking about the game. It was talking about the fact that Lenny Kravitz is a bad guy in it. Feels like when they've announced the special Hitman assassinations, I'm actually going to bring it up in a second here, but like the Eminem one, it kind of feels like a cameo. I don't know if he's like a main boss in the game or if it is just that, a cameo. But go off, King, I guess. Would anyone know who Lenny Kravitz is unless they were born before 2000? So, I don't know. A bit of a weird choice in my opinion, but, you know, whatever. Which, also talking about Hitman and the thing that Mila Jovovich is going to be a special thing, and funnily enough, she's like in this cursed mansion with like a virus or something. Screams Resident Evil. I don't know, I found that quite funny. Next, Total War Warhammer. Yeah, sick. A new RTS game in the world of Warhammer. Very cool, Kanye. Spectacular. I'll take it. I love a good RTS. I love a military RTS, futuristic military RTS. Bit of Halo Wars up in here. Yes, I will take it, and I will play it. Let's go. So the next one, and this is where it's getting good. Star Wars Galactic Racer. Now, this is pod racing. Dude, what? We're getting Knights of the Old Republic, and we're getting Star Wars Pod Racer? What is happening? Who smoked what? And can I have some? I am as keen as a bean. I think it would be really cool if they had like a bit of like a Wipeout style cross, you know, your sort of power-up races like Mario Kart or Crash Team Racing, Team Sonic Racing. Yeah, even if it was sort of like, you know, Twisted Metal style. I don't know. I know that's sort of like less, that's more like battle, but you know what I mean. Looks great. I will definitely be picking that up. Next is Out of Words. Outer Worlds looks cute. I'm always down for a cute co-op game, adventure game that I can play with my fiance. It Takes Two was just an absolute experience to play together. It very much has that style of It Takes Two, so I'm very much looking forward to it. It looks cute, the art style, the claymation vibes, it's all there, and I'm very, very excited to see more. Phantom Blade Zero was the next one that popped up. It just looks like another Souls-like game set in an Asian country. We've had so many of those recently, like Wukong or Wolong. But yeah, I think it, sort of is definitely, like, it looks Souls-like, but I think it's actually a little bit more inspired by the recent God of War games. Just the combat, it looks a bit more like that, so probably not a direct Souls-like, but it definitely screams it, so. Next was Mega Man Dual Override. I do love the classic Mega Man games, and especially when they're, bringing, because, like, obviously the pixel art style, it's getting a bit dated, so when they brought it to a 3D side-scroller, it looks great. I love the way it looks as a 3D side-scroller. I think it's a bit early to be showing off this game. 2027 is the release date, so I think maybe they're showing it a bit early. Speaking of Souls-like games that are set in Asian countries, Nioh 3. Yeah, look, I won't deny, it looks good. Like, the graphics look good, the gameplay looks good. I think it looks better than what Nioh and Nioh 2 look. For me, the first Nioh game it's the only one I've played, but it was a bit janky for me, and as I was playing it, I just kind of wanted to play Dark Souls. Who knows, maybe I'll give Nioh 2 a try prior to this one, see if I can get into the vibes. So the last game that they announced was Highguard. What a shit way to end it. It is a new hero shooter from the creators of Titanfall and Apex Legends. So, interesting, I guess. In the trailer, they have this line which says it's a new breed of shooter, and it literally looks like fucking Overwatch and Valorant. It just looks exactly like it. It's fucking identical, pretty much. Some of the powers that are used, the style screams Valorant, but the gameplay screams Overwatch. It just looks like a crossbreed, and it's a free-to-play game. Like, why did they leave off the Game Awards with a free-to-play hero shooter? The characters and stuff, they kind of remind me a little bit of Concord, dude, and that's gnarly. You do not want to scream Concord. I don't know. I like a good hero shooter. I think League of Legends should get a hero shooter. I think that would be kind of cool. I don't even want to be that harsh, but it don't look. It's not what they think it looks like. It's not as good as what they think it's going to be. I don't know. I'll keep my eye out for it. Look, that is my that was me talking about Game Awards. No one's here to watch it, but I love you all anyway. So bye now.